Hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast, where we talk about sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all of the popular art that we love. Also, we do it drunk. I'm joined, as always, by my brother and co-host, Bill. How you doing?
I'm doing much better than I've seen House of the Dragon. Season finale of season 1.
Yes, the House of Dragons is in disarray.
I gotta say, first of all, shout out to Baratheons apparently always being fucking assholes.
Yeah, they're stubborn if nothing else, and proud group. They held true to that in this episode.
Cunts.
Yeah, today we're talking about the season 1 finale of House of the Dragon, HBO's new hit prequel of Game of Thrones. This season ended pretty wild, and I was kind of surprised that it ended on such a huge cliffhanger.
Can I just say this before we go any further?
Yeah. What
was the name of that show with Jonathan Majors and
Lovecraft Country?
Yeah, that's supposed to be this. HBO, we could be better. We could be better right now.
We could be better. Yeah,
we could be better right now because all we had to do was give 2 seasons of that show.
Well, to play devil's advocate, if you want to hear the reports online, that apparently the reason there wasn't a second season is because it was tumultuous creative space, because Misha Green is not the nicest showrunner to work with. But that's if you hear the reports, the scuttlebutt out there on Deadline and Variety.
Is that because her name is Misha, or is that because she's actually a difficult person to work with? You know what I'm saying? Is it because is it because she's black?
Women, especially black women, definitely get that kind of stigma on them.
Y'all just got educated on some stuff today. I'm sorry. This is the beginning of the podcast, and all I want to do is say, hey, how are you doing?
But all I know
I appreciate you for liking and subscribing. Fuck with you all day, but yeah, let's get back into this education.
To your point, but I will say, to your point, with this show, the showrunners changed. I think by episode 3, they announced that the showrunner got quit, and then there was a new showrunner for it. And we're obviously gonna get more seasons of this, but showrunner change in Lovecraft Country apparently means the end. Doesn't seem right, but whatever. We're gonna keep moving right along.
All I'll do is try to provide a open dialogue for a perspective that's not normally had on other shows that cover television and movies, because we are the black Siskel and Ebert.
We like context here. Yeah, we're connoisseurs of context, one might say.
We talk about everything. Mostly just sci-fi, comic books, movies, and horror.
Mostly nerd shit. What did you think of this episode? Just like initial thoughts.
Ooh, I told y'all. Let me take it off pause. I got the show on pause. Let me take it off pause. We rolling it, baby. I'm trying to tell you, man. I love this shit, man. I told y'all we was in for some serious shit. Nothing good happens on this show. I knew what was gonna happen, and I was still very sad looking into Luke's eyes, like when he was getting ready to get sent off. When his brother Jacaerys is like, we should be the ones who send the message. He's like, we? Mama, he got a mouse in his pocket. Cause he don't mean me too. I don't even really want to go nowhere. I really got to use the bathroom. I've just been waiting for this to end. So when this ends, I'm going to use the bathroom.
That's all I want to do.
I don't really want to go nowhere. Like, that's what he was looking like. Yeah. And I felt it. When she was telling him to put his hand on the motherfucking Bible, he was like, no, I don't want to do that. Jacaerys was like, yeah, I'm down. He was like, I don't really want to go. He said, mother. He didn't say my queen. Like, right. Jacaerys was like, your grace. And he was like, mama. I mean, your grace. Like, so I just love how well this was written. There was a lot of complaining about the pacing, but I kept saying, let's just let it play out. Let's let it play out. I'm not trying to give any spoilers. But, look, they did a really good job of making you feel something for these characters. Even though we had so many that we had such little time with, and so many time jumps, they still made you feel like, ooh, Luke gonna die. God damn it, man. Luke. Luke.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I mean, I really like this episode. Definitely a nice way to end the season. I do feel like I probably would have really enjoyed all of the time in between the time jumps. Like I would have liked those like seasons of those shows, though I don't feel like the show is like bad because of those things. Like there's a lot of people who say that they hate those things, but I don't necessarily hate those things. I would have liked those seasons of the show, but I like the show that we're getting, and I'm very excited to see what happens next season, especially the way things ended. But enough of what we thought about it initially. Let's talk about what we're talking about. Episode opens up with obviously the last episode ended with Rhaenys blowing up the spot. She got her dragon, and we assume that she was on her way to Rhaenyra and let her. I'm sorry, I pronounced her name wrong. Ray. She was on her way to Ray and Damon's house to let them know. And she shows up, and she's the bearer of bad news. What did you think of this scene with like Ray coming to terms with her father dying, and also with just with her throne being usurped, essentially?
I love the scene because I feel like Ray, man, you be trying to throw me off. Why you want to say Ray, man? Like you be messing me up, man. Look, anyway, Rhaenyra was being tested by Rhaenys. Isn't that her name?
Yeah. That's why I gotta switch it up with the Ray. Shit's too hard. I'm gonna start calling Damon Day really soon. Just wait till next season.
I thought Rhaenyra was being tested by Rhaenys because Rhaenys was like trying to decide if she was worth her going out and risking her life for. Like, are you really a good ruler? Kind of like the way Viserys and Tywin Lannister kind of like, hey, Daenerys, are you worth us trying to like help you claim your claim to the throne?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I really liked that scene, and I liked how her character basically played out through the rest of the episode, which is basically in that sense, like when she's watching her, when Rhaenyra is watching, I mean, when Rhaenys is watching Rhaenyra in court and how she performs and how she handles herself, she is very much so obviously proud of how she's handling herself,
right?
Not only as a woman, but as her cousin, her second cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's still love there, regardless of all the bullshit that's happened. That's why I love the Targaryen story, because truly, they are a bunch of lovers who are forced to be warriors.
Yeah,
they're clearly they care more about fucking than anything in life. That's really all they really care about, is like their affection for one another, more than they do care about like fighting. But they just end up their affection for one another and their veracity for power, and
right,
which is apparently explained as just trying to make sure that the Night King don't take over the world. Like all of those things just combine to make for this like chaotic house of dragons.
Yeah.
Did I just do that? House of the Dragon? Did I just really? God,
I do.
I should write this down.
It is interesting seeing, like, obviously in Game of Thrones we only had Daenerys and really Viserys to see the temperament of Targaryens and Valorians, but you can see that they're just very passionate people, and that comes out through like a lot of different actions and emotions, and it's really interesting seeing how, like, even within the Targaryens, that like it's not a monolith. all of them have expressed their extreme passions in different ways. Aemon's different than Daemon, which is different than Ray.
Even though they sound the same.
Yeah, even although all their names sound exactly the same, they are very different. Then later, because of this crazy news, Ray does have a complication during birth. That's when she starts. That induces labor in a sense.
Have a dragon for a baby.
Yeah,
goddamn having some complications. Now I will say that it didn't look like it was really a dragon, but in the source material, it was born with a dragon tail and deformed, and they say mangled. When they say that, that's an old school term for that the umbilical cord strangled the baby.
Oh, okay.
Old school middle ages term,
Yeah. It did seem like there was something wrong with wasn't sure if the baby was deformed or if it was just like blue because of like the strangulation. But yeah, it definitely seemed like there was something going on there. That scene was very brutal. Ray just like fucking just gave birth by herself, palmed the baby's head like fucking Kevin Garnett. Just like anything is possible.
Hey, yo, son, you go ahead and let me get this baby out here real quick. You know what I'm saying? Hey, go ahead and grab this baby. I'm gonna grab this baby. Go ahead and give me some hot water. Go give me some hot water. Let me grab this baby out real quick.
That's a pretty solid Kevin Garnett.
I think that was a decent one. I never done Kevin Garnett before. I think I did all right.
I feel guys, shout out, leave it in the comments if you feel like that was a good Kevin Garnett.
If you hate it, let me know. If you love it, let me know.
We'll workshop it. We're working on it in the next season. I mean, the next episode. Well, I guess it will be next season next time we talk about the show.
I'm not doing another Kevin Garnett for another fucking whole year. Fuck that. That was really hard, dude. I just really worked my ass off to do that Kevin Garnett, and y'all didn't even appreciate it. Fuck y'all.
Ray is the Kevin Garnett of this show, and Bill is the Kevin Garnett of this podcast. But yeah, that scene was really brutal. I don't feel like that graphicness was necessary to see.
It was because of what it's described in the book and how it's described as basically like an alien baby. So you gotta basically like give the brutality with the obscurity of maybe it is a dragon baby, maybe it's not. Not necessarily fire and blood. Right. I'm just saying fire and blood.
Not necessarily seeing the corpse, but just like we literally saw
but you have
pulling the crown.
That's also the only really good time. I mean, like clear time that you see the deformity of the baby either. You know what I'm saying? So like, I understand what you're saying, but you had to have the gruesomeness of it. Because they still left it ambiguous as to whether or not it was half dragon, half baby. And so if you're going to leave the ambiguity to it, then you have to have the gruesomeness nature of it still. Otherwise, if you're not going to have the gruesome nature of it, you're going to have to just show us a fucking baby with a dragon tail. Right. We're going to have to see that. That's what everybody's been waiting on. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole segment of the crowd that's watching that's been waiting on this dragon baby, and they don't see it. And they were waiting on it in Game of Thrones with Daenerys, baby, and never saw it. So
you would, because you would assume that this would be the moment where they would actually take the time to show it, or at least make reference to it. But
I feel like that's why they gave you half and half. Yeah. In that scene.
But then later, Hightower shows up to Dragonstone to, I guess, just basically say you present evidence of their
treasonous acts. These treasonous bastards
trying to say why they have claim to the throne. Basically, Daemon's about that life. He's basically about to just pop things off. But one thing that is interesting is that Hightower does give Ray the paper, the page from the book that her and Alicent read way back in episode 1. What did you think of this whole scene?
I thought
at Dragonstone.
This is the second time that somebody could have ended this whole war. That's what I thought.
You mean by choosing violence, as it were?
I choose violence. Yeah, exactly. Burn these niggas up.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Aegon won the battle. Look, I'm reading the book.
Right
now, right? I'm reading Fire and Blood, right? And Aegon he was winner of. He conquered Westeros because he took one fucking king, essentially, and fucked his whole world up. The guy who had the most impregnable castle in all of Westeros, Harrenhal.
They impregnated the bitch.
Impregnated it with fire and motherfucking ash. Bro, like destroyed it. Like immediately, like just came down on top and destroyed the entire bloodline of one family in one stroke without having to take a whole, war
Right.
to make it happen, a whole battle to make it happen, not killing thousands of men, not killing thousands of his own men,
Right.
I just feel like these are things that could have been taken care of in different ways. And then Aegon then goes on to destroy what could have been the entire Lannister bloodline, but the Lannister that was in the battle was able to get out when they burned an entire wheat field in that area. And come on, man, like this is how this is won. Daemon was right when he choked Rhaenyra. I mean, he shouldn't have choked Rhaenyra like that. But this is a different time period.
I was about to say, what?
But he was right what he was saying. Dreams didn't conquer Westeros.
Right.
Dragons did.
Right. I thought, we'll get to that scene later, but I thought that was like just kind of, the choke itself was way out of nowhere. I thought that could have been executed from just him saying that to her.
He's a bad person. This is when you're getting caught up in being in like regular life. This is when people get caught up in being in like what's actual happening in real life. And they were watching a television show about a time period in which people that's supposed to mirror an actual time period that took place in this actual real life. It's mirroring a time period where women especially were not treated equally, even if they were the queen, even if they were able to cut your head off. Like, it just wasn't the same. And also, not to just mention that, on top of that, Daemon Targaryen is not a good person. He's killed his previous wife. That's all I'm saying. Not his previous wife, but the wife before that. His first wife.
Yeah, he's definitely a bad person. I've never considered him to be a good person. I just thought that the choke itself, I didn't it wasn't I wasn't clutching my pearls or anything. I just thought it was a weird thing, a weird reaction. I thought he would at least at least react in anger and be like, "What? What are you even talking about?"
No, I understand you would say that that's a weird reaction, but that's his brother. What's been really downplayed, or I guess not completely grasped by the viewer, in my opinion, based on what's on the internet and based on reviews, is that Daemon really cared about his brother. That's the reason he wanted to be at court by his brother. He saw all of this happening. He saw Hightower trying to corrupt his brother, and look at what actually ended up happening. And now, so imagine being on the outside the whole time, but now your brother actually died. The whole thing that you've been trying to prevent.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And
then that just happened. And now your niece, not your girlfriend from a long time, like your niece, someone who you basically still see as a child, which just goes into how he treated Jacaerys when he came in trying to tell him what to do. Now this person is trying to tell you what to do, and you're just trying to hold on because you're like, I see the walls closing in. Like, they're coming for us next. This is about to be, it already is war. In your mind, they killed your brother. You already curious about them poisoning your brother. So I understand where they went with that because the guy is losing it. And this bitch just told him about some shit that he ain't even ever heard before. You know what I'm saying? In his mind, in his crazy ass mind, he's like, no.
I guess from just a writing standpoint, it stifles the any conversation that can be had or development between those two characters, because they're having a conversation about the Song of Ice. As soon as she brings up the Song of Ice and Fire, he just chokes her, and that's just the end of the conversation. There's not really any more development of what either of them want out of this situation, from that point in the conversation. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like there wasn't ever going to be any resolution in what they wanted out of the conversation because he didn't know anything about it. So that was the whole point of the conversation, was that he doesn't. Yeah, she realizes that he doesn't know because he wasn't trusted, which is also the reason he got mad, because he knows he wasn't trusted enough. She's telling him of a prophecy that he should have been birthright to, and I'm just saying. I get that. I just feel like it was kind of all of his frustration, very quick and lazy way to get to like the. It wasn't. I don't think so. I disagree. I just disagree because he. It's a buildup that's happened for fucking 8 episodes. Like, he's literally gotten exiled. He's been brought back by the way of his defeating his own enemies, and then coming back and only to be exiled again, essentially, because he can't please his brother enough to get him to realize that he's surrounded by snakes. Right. Which turns out he was right. And then I'm just saying. So yeah, no. I think they did a really good job of explaining that, because fair enough. Because in the books, it's just seen as he's an asshole. Right. Yeah, like and in the I'm not sure what they say in the books because like I haven't read ahead. But like in interviews, Polygon reported that in interviews, Millie Alcock and Emily Carey, the 2 actresses who played Rhaenyra and Alicent in the first 5 episodes of the season, have confirmed that they played their characters as having a romantic relationship in the in the first episodes. I'm not sure if they're gonna apparently they're not gonna really explore that in the show, but I think that adds to the I guess the connection that totally Rhaenyra has. I totally got that in the first episode, because Rhaenyra says that she wouldn't want to marry anybody. She just would want to spend the rest of her life with Alicent. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I got that right off the bat. Oh, they like kind of freaky with each other, a little freaky. Yeah, I liked that aspect, that there's just like a little bit more to their connection, and even if it is just a friendship connection, I like that is a point of humanity that is drawing Ray from. Ain't no 14-year-old girls talking about hanging out with their best friend for the rest of their life. That's like a girl, unless they want to have sex with them. I mean, unless there's some kind of intimate relationship. That's what I should say. Well, yeah, I will just say, even when you are a teenager, a lot of people. Like, when you're a teenager, you think that those relationships and friendships are going to last the rest of your life anyway. And then, life happens, and then you know, how many friends do you have that you hung out with when you were 14 years old? But I don't think it was a friendship thing. That's what I'm saying. The way that it was said, the way it was delivered, I think it was an intimacy thing. And, they were thinking, and everybody in their world is married at 14, so but even or 12 or 9, and even from a romantic aspect, I think that's interesting that they're delving into that, like the relationships that you delve in, that you have when you're 13 years old, don't necessarily last your entire life. So then let's just fast forward to the scene where we kind of already talked about it, where let's just jump to where Luke Skywalker, when he goes to visit the old Mr. Baratheon, cousin of the Targaryens, always been a dick to Targaryens, apparently. Like, come on, man. Goddamn, nigga. To get rid of one of your daughters? That's what you give it up for? Right. Your word? Yeah. Oh, my God, man. This shit is ridiculous. Westeros always been jacked up. That's what I see. Yeah, they kind of always held that shit very high. Like, who you gonna which one of my daughters you gonna marry? Walder Frey, basically. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of very, very similar situation with those guys. So Prince Luke, what did you think about how that turned out? Because I've been trying not to talk about it this whole time. So what did you think about how it turned out? I thought it was interesting, and that was very dramatic, very crazy, kind of predictable, only because of this kind of show. If it was Lord of the Rings, it would have been very, very going to happen in this show. Right. If it was Lord of the Rings, you've been surprised, but House of the Dragon, you kind of expected it. Were you surprised by how upset Aemon was with his actions? Yeah, I was kind of surprised by how it all turned out. It seemed like, Luke, he wasn't in full control of his dragon, and Aemon wasn't in full control of his dragon. So it seemed like it was very much a situation where these kids were treating these dragons like they're fighter jets, but they're not machines. They have their own emotions, and they're gonna act a certain way. And I liked how that all played out.
I loved it. I thought I was not gonna like it because, like I said earlier, I already knew what was gonna happen. I just thought I wasn't gonna like it, but I really loved it. It was. I really still felt the connection. Like I said, like they built these characters up really well. And I can't wait for season 2. Like, it is on and popping.
It's on and popping. That's a song from a long time ago. But yeah, I'm also very excited about it. At the end of the episode, you do see Ray get the news. And I thought it was very well shot, where you get to see her, even though you don't see her face, you can tell the point where she's sad and she's grieving to the point where she gets angry. Even before she turns around, you can see where it turns to anger. Too. Yeah, like the music and the editing and like her performance and just like her movement all came together like butt cheeks. It was very
Team
nice.
Rhaenyra.
Yeah, Team Ray all day. Since you have read ahead, like I've heard that there's like a kind of the thing called spoilers with no context. Kind of the reason I wore this shirt today, because this is an Invincible spoiler with no context T-shirt. And it's also do you have any ideas of where the next season may go, or things that you might be excited for the next season?
I don't believe we've had the answer to who the beast beneath the boards is.
Okay.
So just prepare for that. And I also... No, I can't say anything other than that. Otherwise it's just
that's a good enough spoiler.
I feel like that's...
Because I assumed that the beast beneath the boards was at the dragon pit or whatever.
What's the dragon pit made of?
Clay? I don't
know. Yeah, stone.
Oh, okay.
Not boards.
Message. Oh man.
Just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm.
Are you ready?
I'm very excited to see what happens in the next season. This actress Emma Darcy, I think that she's going to be able to carry this Ray character. There's obviously some speculation on whether because everybody fell in love with Millie Alcock, whether everyone will be able to like this new actress playing the character, but I really like her.
There's also speculation that the younger ones will have flashback. There'll be flashbacks.
Maybe.
I said there's speculation.
Yeah.
So
Millie Alcock is going to get cast in a Marvel thing next year. You're going to see in February 2023.
No, she'll be Emma Frost in 7 years.
Yeah, in February 2023, she's going to be
2023. No. I will say, look, I will say this. In February of 2025, she will play Emma Frost in X-Men.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
You're welcome.
We shall see.
You're welcome.
I would really like that, but Hollywood's stupid and they try to cast people early.
No, I'm sorry. I just told you what was going to happen. Why are you trying to talk to me? Why are you talking to me about why are you talking to me?
But guys, we try to do this every
There's only two options, Alex. I'm Dr. Fate. There's only two options in Fate.
If you want to check out our Black Adam episode, that'll probably be coming out tomorrow. So check that out. Guys, we try to do this every once in a while, so go ahead and leave a like and subscribe so you can get updates on new videos. Check us out on Twitter, IG, TikTok, likewise, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the internet things at Drunk Banthas. Until next time, stay safe, my little
Team Black
baby dragons. Oh, you're my little Team Blacks. and may the force be with you.